Hey everybody, in this episode of the Riverdale After Show, we're breaking down Season 2, Episode 21, Judgment Night. A town in chaos, the Black Hood revealed, and R.I.P. Jughead. Hooray! We'll find out more next.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There you go. DJ Sam pulling up a sweet song here. Blood and Water from Grandson kicks us off for this episode of Riverdale.
I'm feeling real mystical over here.
As always, we're breaking down every episode of Riverdale, airing Wednesday nights on the CW. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran.
And I'm Sam Davidson. I'm in the live chat. I'm so excited to be back. I miss you guys so much, and I'm so excited to talk about this episode.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. I'm also reading the chat. You guys are funny. That's all I gotta say.
Hey, I'm your girl Shawna O. You know what I want to do? I want to talk about the ships, and I want to talk about Riverdale because it got crazy tonight. I was afraid.
Me and Shawna were holding hands for like half of the time. yeah.
And as always, our leader, Ben Bateman, on assignment. Can't be here with us, but
Maybe
he's always
him and Jughead are going to be RIP'd together. You know, it's going to be a sad, sad end of the season. I'm just kidding.
What we do
Ben
know
just
is
got beat up somewhere? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you know, it's just, yeah. Maybe.
Oh, man.
He's not here. We don't know where
The
he
ghoulies
is.
came for
And
Ben
I hope
Bateman.
you're not watching.
I hope
the one
ghoulies
fact
came.
we do have is that no matter where Ben is, he is suited and booted, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If you're in FP's arms, joke you not, he would be in a suit. Doesn't
Yes.
matter.
That's
Yes.
right. But as always, folks, like us on Facebook. Give us those 5 stars on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as Sam and Chae both mentioned, they're in the chat. So feel free to hop in and share your thoughts about this episode in particular or just the series in general. But before we dive into anything, the particulars, just a quick round robin. What did everybody think of the episode?
Shauna, you wanna go?
Oh, I'll go. It was amazing. It was so good and like bone chilling. Like I thought, this is what I've been waiting for. The suspense to lead up to something. That was like great for me to see, and then just to see the intricacies of the relationships changing. That was like a big thing for me too, because no one is the same at the end. I don't think there's any relationship that's the same. So
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I cried a little bit. Like I don't know what's gonna happen. I really hope my man's not gone. But like guys, writers, you hurt my heart. Thank you so much. Though it was amazing. The episode was incredible, and I just want to beat Penny up.
Me too. I feel like this was one of the top 5 episodes of the season. And don't you worry, guys. I'm not going to crap all over the episode. You know I love this show
Yes.
through fault and fault. And I think it was amazing. I had the chills the entire time. I was so excited about it. I can't even tell you. And this is what Riverdale was meant to be, perhaps in 15 to 17. No, you know what? 15 would have been good. 15 would have been good. Do you know what I'm saying? It's that they drug some episodes out, but this one was on point AF. I'm 12.
Not a bad episode. As we break into it, I had some issues with Hal and his whole setup, so we'll dive right into it. We left last week with good old Fang being let out. The servants trying to protect him. The town of Riverdale, the north side, ready to get him, and then a shot rings out, and our boy Fang is down. Did anybody not doubt that it was Mrs. Clump?
I mean, I'm very like, you know, fall for everything. So I was just like, Reggie, you are a savage. But as we saw today, Reggie was less of a savage and more of a crybaby.
Yeah,
So,
stupid crybaby. I was a bit over Reggie, I will say.
he got on my nerves, and I'm really, you know, Hiram, he did his thing, his Hiram thing, which I'm so sad I ever gave him the benefit of the doubt. I'm so mad at you, Hiram, and I'm mad at you, Reggie, for trying to be capo, but you ain't capo. You're scared.
Well, I feel like they telegraphed it last week when you go through the crowd and you see Mrs. Clump there. You're like, all right, I know what's coming. I've seen enough of these types of situations to know that Mrs. Clump is
Actually
seeking
did
revenge.
it. Well, I knew it wasn't Reggie, obviously, only because of the
Yeah.
angle how low this gun is. Like you had, even if the gun backfired, like it's not gonna go that wide up. It's gonna maybe it's gonna hit a kneecap, maybe it's gonna hit a shin, but it's not gonna go so far where it hits right in the middle of your gut. That's what I had an issue with. I'm like, okay, you guys, I need you to calm down. It's not Reggie. I need you to look for possible other people.
Yeah, I was really concerned they were going to start the episode with Reggie in jail or Archie, and it would have been just look at the gun residue. I'm really happy they didn't go that way because it would have been very annoying for the audience. Don't you think?
Yeah,
No?
but that's not to say that Riverdale sometimes doesn't do stuff that annoys us. As much as we love it.
I think it's the men. The ladies are just able to look past it. What can we say?
I think it's a good thing and a bad thing that we can look past all that.
And I love you guys, I just want to say, but I watched last week's after show, and I'm like, you know what? I need to stand up for Riverdale. I feel bad for missing out last week because I just wanted to be here and stand up and, throw a glass that's on fire,
Molotov
onto the
cocktail for the
street
win.
and say,
Molotov
I
cocktail?
love you, Riverdale. It's going to be okay.
Don't throw Molotov cocktails and tell people you love them. That's not.
No, I was going to throw it at Frank and,
Okay.
Ben and Matt. I'm just
I'm
kidding.
like, you have to give them roses while you love them.
There
Haven't
you
you
go.
heard the rap songs?
So Fang ends up not making it through the episode.
That's actually so
That was a
sad.
bummer.
Like now Bidge is dead and Fang's dead. That is really upsetting a little bit in that case.
I like it that they don't make us as connected to the characters that die. We're sad, but we don't care that much about them.
Yeah.
But do you feel like we should care? I mean, I felt like what we saw last week with Fang, where his fear about being let out there was great. But then this episode, we see him wheeled in, and we talk about, we got to talk to the parents, but we never see sight nor sound, parents, or anything more with Fang until the end when FB comes in and goes, oh,
He's gone.
bye-bye.
So we see a lot of poor Fangs and Midge in the chat. Agreed, but do you guys think perhaps Fangs and Midge had more to do with the Black Hood storyline than we think, or they're just innocent victims?
It's probably a handful of both, I feel like.
And then I feel like they like we talked about before. I think that they were not sure where they were going to go with things, and so they kind of led us into a little like alley. Like remember, Fangs was looking a little DL. Remember, he was
With
like
Keven?
With Keven, I thought he was on the down low, and so I thought that was going to be the storyline. But I think they just teased us a little bit to make us care more about him for a second before he died. Because once we thought he was with Keven, we were like Fangs. Before that, we were like who? So it's like yeah.
Well, I feel like it's the shock value of seeing people killed, but you don't really know anything. We haven't seen much of Midge or Fangs. We talked a little bit about the past couple weeks throughout the season to really feel like these deaths have really hit home.
Do you guys think there's any weird TV soap opera crazy way that Midge isn't really dead?
No,
I mean,
I don't think so. We saw her kind of like pinned up there.
I know, but
some yeah.
it was a stage. It could have been like,
It was
you're right.
Carrie.
Now that I'm saying it out loud,
No, give
like,
us one scenario you imagine in your head how Midge could have got out of
got
this.
it right here. Okay, so we see Midge suddenly appear in the in season finale of season 2, and then all of a sudden we see a flashback. Okay,
Yes.
to her setting up to be pinned on that thing with
Yes.
blood, whatever on her. Everyone is so freaked out that they don't question what it is. I mean, they should have. Obviously, they had a body. Those are the little details that I would need to fill in. However, if she's somehow working with the person, they put her up on purpose, and it was this whole display, I don't
A
really
ruse.
think... I'm 40%, I think that's true, 60% not, so...
Right. I'm gonna go 20% with that one, but just
Shut up, I like that. That was very...
but just because I love you, and I also
Thank you, Shawna.
she gave you a lot more
I
love than me, 'cause
also
I'm giving you
think that
5%.
I can't wait till
just
I'm
to
right.
add to her story, what had happened was
Oh, really?
her and Fangs. Fangs was the one who pinned her up, right? Because they were in the dressing room plotting, and then when they got back, they ran off together because they're really together. No.
I have my only question is, where did Joaquin go through all of this? He showed up, and then we saw no sign or hair of him after the
Yeah.
death. So my question is, where's Joaquin? I want to see some Joaquin and Keven moment, just like, oh, you're back. How you doing?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, get some Joaquin in there too. Why not?
Yeah, the chat says Midge is dead. I believe you. But
Sam Dream, though.
But you want to know what? If one day I'm right, I'm going to be like, I was lying. Literally, I never believed you guys. I held hope this whole entire time.
If Sam is right, I will throw a party.
Thank
for
you.
all of us, including all of you out
Like
there.
a
That'd be-
really good party, or just kind of
Oh,
like a
no.
BYOB kind of party?
No, just like a Facebook Live party, because that's what we do these days in 2018.
Oh no, we're throwing a huge
19?
party. I'm inviting the cast of Riverdale, including Midge.
Yes.
And I'll contact her. We'll figure it out.
Okay, so I mean,
Well, let's just jump right into it. We find the whole season has been who's a Black Hood, who's a Black Hood, who's a Black Hood. We get half an answer tonight. How do you feel about what we've learned so far about the Black Hood and who really is behind the mask?
So
At least one mask, I should say.
Yeah, because obviously there's two now. And obviously, when the Black Hood showed up to Archie's house and attacked Archie, And then his dad, and Shawna's dad is just like, okay, you're not Hal. I can tell, like, even like from the darkness, you can see the eyes. It's not green, so I know you're not him. But are you like, is this a fake out? Did he send you here to somehow give him an alibi? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out at the same time. Like, is he trying to like set up his own alibi for even though he's gonna kill his family? What's happening in Hal's mind? He's not working alone.
Can I say something because I feel like it might float away? So. There is a puppet master of the Black Hood, and it is not Hal. Hal is just one of its disciples. And we don't know who it is yet. And we're going to figure that out, I think, next... Yeah,
no, it's not Hiram.
Well, he has something to do with it, I think. But we're going to figure out next week who is the real puppet master, and Hal was pretending like he was. And I loved how Alice goes, no, basically you're too big of a dumbass to essentially pull all this off. I mean, she's right.
She really was. It was just like, I'm like Betty, like, Alice, I don't think you should be doing this because, like, really, he just confessed I'm a killer. I shot Fred.
I trust Alice with my life.
Okay,
Alice was like, I'm a badass too. This is my husband. I've seen him in the worst positions. I'm not afraid.
But she kind of shouldn't be because she almost did die. Like, no matter like what you gonna say, she almost did die. And Betty didn't come with that like nice.
But she's the one who gave Betty the signal to get it. So she's 10 steps ahead of the game.
Ooh, okay, sorry. Something brilliant in the chat. Taylor James, like I said, I feel like Hal tried to kill all those people because of what Alice said in episode 105 when she said he didn't have the gut or the stomach to do something like that. Wow. It was like a trigger for him, you know? I'll show you.
So, well, I mean, and we do see he also acknowledges Betty's speech. That also reminded him of where he came from in his past.
What a
and
jerk.
His mom brainwashed him into believing that people who are sinners must die.
But then Alice is right. Then why aren't you killing yourself, sir? You cheated on me with Alice, and then I cheated on you with FP. But he's a real man.
There you go. Well, I mean, of course.
Like you had to gut him. You really had
Honestly,
to gut him on that one.
at that moment, I said, Phallus is back. Oh my God, you guys! I know I said Phallus was over, but when she said that he was a real man, I know a woman's eyes when she's talking. She's going to get him later. She's like, hold on, I'm gonna come back to you though, boo. And it's gonna happen. I'm back with Phallus.
I never left Phallus. Wait a second.
The weird thing about this whole thing, though, is that so Hal's mom shoots a film of her basically confessing that her dad did all this stuff,
Right.
And then it tells him
Her husband,
that Hal's dad did all this stuff, and that he's got to cover for him by convincing the one kid that got away. Why would you film this and then keep it? Just seems so weird that you would film this, if only for the reason that it's played back for us to see. But I don't understand why somebody would film this and keep this.
It's very psychological warfare,
us girls had an idea what it was. We said, look.
I laughed.
I'm like, what did we say? What did you say?
I remember.
Well, what for the reason why we thought that all the daddies in the show, that was Sam, all the daddies, they're saying, we don't know which daddy she's talking about. She just says daddy. It could be, remember he said your granddaddy Blossom, you're a grandpappy this and
There's
that.
There's a lot of bad daddies.
Papa Poutine, Papa, they don't know if it's daddy, Papa.
Well, okay, so if you guys aren't familiar, on social media for the past year and a half-ish, when Riverdale started, you know, all the actors are friends and stuff, and they go. It's mostly Lily says, I'm daddy, but, you know, like so-and-so's daddy, or so-and-so wants to be daddy. I figured it out. So they all have really bad daddies, the females do. But the fact that Cole wants to be daddy, his daddy isn't that bad. FP might have killed people, but he's a good daddy. And, you know, we have Jughead's dad Fred. Or Jughead's dad Fred. Archie's dad Fred. Good daddy also. Right. But all the ladies, Cheryl, Veronica, Betty, bad daddies.
But I have a question, because it's something Hal said that really confused me, though. He said, so your grandpappy killed his brother, who was a Cooper, but then took over his identity, it seems like, almost. So my question is, that makes no sense. It's not really a question, but it's just really, like, it makes no sense to me.
It was a lot of information. I wish I could have watched it 5 times so I could explain it to you guys. I didn't have the chance to do that. However, I will. So maybe next week I'll have a better answer, because it was very complicated. Like, your father's brother's dad killed that person. And
so, it was... Yeah, what was said was, your grandpappy Blossom did his brother didn't kill him, so he didn't lay down like a coward and die. He killed him and changed his last name to Cooper to protect us all. So who is Granddaddy Cooper?
That is the question of the day.
The question. Chat.
And
hit us with the answer.
And, you know, we also, of course, Claudius has been... They introduced this crazy storyline to us, and then they just dead. It's gone.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Until we see next week that he's probably the other guy underneath the black hood.
Yeah.
Or...
That guy was short. That was Hiram.
I remember what I wanted to say last time that I totally forgot, and I just forgot to put it in the comments. So what if Mystery Man Charles is not dead, and he's actually alive, and he's the puppet master?
Well, I think in that case, he would need to talk to our good friend Maria Menounos. Because if you guys want to have fun, learn, and grow, like that guy would, in all aspects of your life, for those who do, have we got the podcast for you. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition, is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder and drops every Friday on iTunes. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to better in all aspects of your life, from health and wellness to career, relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you have always wanted. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us, the Riverdale After Show, that sent you. Also, Daddy. Just say, hey, Daddy sent you. Conversations with Maria Menounos podcast edition. Check it out. It's a lot of fun. I listen to it in the car. I love it.
Yes, me too. Actually, her last episode was about like breaking into the biz. So all of you actors, creatives out there, Maria is out there giving tips on. This last episode was about comedy, I believe, and like stuff like that. So if you're into it, go on, listen to that. Baby.
But back to Riverdale.
Yes. So as we move on, just real quick, everybody satisfied with the revelation of Hal and his part of being the Black Hood?
You mean satisfied is like not the word.
I'm relieved that we finally got that out there so we can move past it and everything. I think that they made it very obvious, especially with Cheryl like shooting him in the shoulder. Then next thing you know, he's at the hospital and all of that. I feel like even before that, they gave us so many clues. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When Clifford Blossom got revealed as the killer last season, I thought that he was just a red herring. But he wasn't, and it's kind of the same thing. I don't want to believe that these people that they're feeding us as the villain is the villain, because they're usually not. But Riverdale keeps on being like, yo, we told you.
Right.
Which annoys me a little bit. I will be honest.
We're trying to go too deep with it, and they're like, we're on the surface.
Yeah, it's
all
like,
here.
Have we not showed you all the clues? It's him, duh.
Right.
Okay,
I also feel like Hal was missing for a lot of this season. He'd show up every
because he's the Black Hood.
Well, one
yeah,
of
but it's
busy
just
killing.
like, So this reveal doesn't really excite me that much. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I mean, it explains a lot. I love the fact that he tried to break into Cheryl's house. She had enough time to get out her house to her archery cage, put on a red hood like she's Robin Hood, and just come through. I was just like, I legit clapped. I was like,
I legit
come on.
clapped too.
I said, like, get it.
I wrote, come through private school education.
Cheryl Blossom kicked some ass this episode.
We have a couple comments in the chat I want to point out. Derek Hogan said the Black Hood isn't just a man, but an idea. And let's see, Mac McKenzie said, I had a feeling that Hal was the Black Hood, but there's someone else. We obviously know there's someone else. And like I said, I think that they're just being controlled, and Alice just looked at it and was like, stop being such a stupid puppet. You were my puppet, now you're someone else's puppet. It's obvious. I know what it's like to be the puppet master. I think Alice is going to crack this whole thing.
All right.
And yes, Red Hood, PLL reference. Also, Betty was wearing the red jacket. A lot of red. And
a lot of emphasis on the red. Like, I don't know, like, what
yeah.
I really trying to figure out what they're trying to tell us
Carmela,
about
I see you, I hear you, PLL. It's a lot of the references on the show, and I love it because I've watched all the teen shows. They're my favorite shows. But they kind of take from every single show. And this is Pretty Little Liars. There was Red Hood there, and all the A's were in a black hood. Yes. Everyone goes, oh, let's drink every time we say, Sam references a show. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Right? I mean, you know, Chae.
Who doesn't want to get drunk? Drink it. Drink up.
Because legit, Betty normally wears blue or black in her jackets. She never hardly ever wears a color that's actually a color. She's like more mute tones, which is, we love it about her. But legit, now she's coming out with a red jacket. I'm trying, where'd you get this jacket?
I'm thinking maybe they're going to start what Archie tried to, but in a better way.
Ooh.
With the
Dark Circle.
The Dark Circle.
Ooh, that would
because
be
they were
cool.
both wearing red. And it's going
red
to,
circle.
and then Veronica is going to be in too.
Oh, she's done with her daddy.
Yeah, Veronica is done. You're right. Veronica's done with her daddy, and honestly, I believe that she's got a whole new idea about her mom. She's like, are you weak? Like, this is a man who is willing to put you under the bus just to get his way. He's using you as a pawn, and no longer will I be the one.
Which is funny because we always thought of Hermione as this badass
boss girl.
woman, and like you took so much pride in seeing that, especially POC woman just like handling her business, but now the cracks are coming through. The cracks are showing in her, and it's just like, I need you to speak up. I need you.
So are we going to talk about Hermione now?
Yeah,
I guess.
Well, I feel like the thing that's been frustrating with this is that we set her up at the end of the mid-season finale. It's kind of the reveal, like, oh, I'm the godmother, right? And yet now we have this reveal where she feels like. I don't think she knew much more about that the October surprise as she was telling Veronica.
October surprise. I was like, that's when my birthday is, okay?
And then October surprise sounds very nice. That was not nice. But I haven't thought about the fact that she maybe didn't know. But I was thinking that maybe she is beginning to realize that she thought she was the boss. He was allowing her to think so.
Yeah.
Having her sign papers, make decisions, make calls. But really, Hiram is so good. He will have people on the other end taking calls, and that's who he's really dealing with. You know what I mean?
I think what happened
He's very underhanded.
with Hermione and Veronica was that she did pretend to know and she didn't know. And that Hermione is putting out this entire vibe that she runs things, she's purposely having him do all of these crazy things, and he's almost manipulated her to think that this was her idea. And Veronica is the first person to ever point out, Mom, this wasn't your idea. Mom, you're being manipulated and abused. And that's why she was so emotional, is because she finally realized that Veronica is right. I mean, Veronica killed it this episode.
She's like, you don't want nice right now. You don't need me to be bad. You need me to tell you exactly what's happening, because obviously you're not understanding that your husband is willing to sell you, basically, to get to the end of the Yellow Brick Road.
And I think that's why she was crying in a way, because Veronica really brought that to her attention. She had an epiphany, almost.
Not only that, I like how Veronica said, this will not only ruin the campaign, this is going to ruin Fred's life. So, like, it's like, where do you draw the line? Are you willing to put out anything? Are you going to put out naked pictures of anybody? Like, what do we do?
And I don't think
I
that
think Veronica's over it.
I agree. I don't think that Hermione ever really intended or wanted to ruin Fred's life. I don't think that would ever be on her plan.
Well, you'd see every time he kind of mentioned it, it'd always be show a shot of her, and she'd always be kind of stone-faced. Like she really wasn't on board with everything that Hiram wanted to accomplish. We see a lot of what Hiram is kind of dissent that he's kind of sowed throughout the season is coming back and at home to roost for him. We've got Papa Poutine's son now coming back for a little payout.
I'm like, God, how many people hate them? This is off. This is off plot that we're focused on.
And then Small Fry is huge. Like, he is big. He knocked down that door with no problem.
If he's the Small Fry, good Lord.
I would have been doing backflips and gymnast moves out that window, honey. I got to get away from Small Fry.
But give it up for Hermione. I mean, she got that gun and she
did.
She took the 4 shots. I was just like,
Well, I'm just really glad that Veronica didn't have to do it, and I think that is what Hermione's point was, you know, at first it looked like Veronica was in control. Come on, Mom, like, let's run. But Hermione knew she needed to kind of jump forward. And I think that Fred did the same thing for Archie. He didn't want Archie to have to throw that, like, fiery, whatever it is. What would that weapon be called?
sacrificial lamb?
No, when he's on top of Pops.
Oh, a Molotov cocktail.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
I don't think either of their parents wanted them to have that on their conscience, essentially. So they kind of took it for them. But
well, I don't think Fred knew that Archie was doing that. He just drove up at the right time.
Yeah, Fred's just kind of dumb. So is Archie.
Sheriff Keller, it was like all the hot daddies coming through. Like,
yes.
Well, that daddy, yeah. I think Sheriff Keller is the OG daddy. I'm not gonna lie. I think Kevin's the real daddy then.
And then Sheriff Keller's the OG daddy.
Oh God.
He came through with that police car. I'm
It
sorry.
seemed like basically what happened tonight, though, is that we certainly got the riot, which is bad enough for Riverdale, but then everything everybody did wrong this season, all came back to visit on this night as well too. So whether it's Hiram and all his dirty dealings, whether you've got Jughead and all his dealings with Penny and the Ghoulies, all that came back down on the same night as everything's falling apart in Riverdale. Was that? Did you like seeing everything culminate in this kind of big blow up, or was you like, I wouldn't have minded to keep some stuff and maybe see it season 3?
What it made me think was that this season should have been shorter and this could have been drawn out over 2 to 3 episodes. I don't know. I liked it. I think when crap hits the fan, it hits the fan and it all happens at once. And that's kind of just a general thing of literature, of movies, of TV. And that's what we saw. And the music was so good. The music, I feel like I barely breathed when I watched it.
Yeah.
Right?
It was great.
I feel like the culmination of Fang getting shot and starting the riots and starting all this chaos, it was going to come to a head regardless. Like, it just needed a catalyst, and Fang just happened to be that catalyst. And Hiram was, like, building off all this chaos, enjoying it. And I'm just like, you don't realize the lives you're ruining in the process. Like, everybody's lives are getting ruined right now.
I think he does. He's always known, and there's a lot we don't know about Hiram and his past and why he wants to do this. I definitely think it was Hiram that shot Fangs.
No, it was
Mr. Clump.
Well, yes. I honestly, I'm going to be real. I don't believe that.
Ooh.
Okay.
And I do think, because I was rewatching the last episode today, the shooting in the theater, or whatever, with the town hall last week. Did we see Hiram? Because I remember
they were all huddled together. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they were all huddled together.
Because I was trying to pinpoint who do we not see in this moment.
Right.
I know Hiram and Veronica were, like, they put Veronica in the middle of both of them. That's the only reason why I know he was there.
Okay.
Hiram is more evil than I thought he was. Like, I learned that, first of all, yes, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. That's because I'm a nice person, okay? He's a bad guy. When he hung up on Reggie after Reggie tried to call him for help, after he's the one who set him up, like, and he's like, sorry, I can't help you. And then he gets off the phone, and you guys, he legit chuckles.
Of course, he got what he wanted out of it.
He found this to be so, like, exciting. You know what? You need Jesus. You need to read a Bible and sit down somewhere, Hiram. You need go to church.
Well, Hiram needs a lot of things.
I think he needs, like, an
he will not get his hands
exorcism.
dirty.
Yeah, you need an exorcism.
That's the only reason I don't think that was him. Like, he'll manipulate things to the situation. He will never get his hands dirty. Have you ever noticed that? Like,
He's the puppet master. He
Yes.
was the puppet master from prison. I think it has continued. We still don't understand his big plan as far as wanting the prison in Riverdale where Southside was. No one still gets that. And Veronica's even said that. Why, Daddy? Because of your big master plan to have to have the prison here? It still doesn't add up. It still doesn't make sense.
It adds up to me. I mean, into some crazy stuff.
I mean, it's
Into him making a prison, getting all the Southside people to either work there for like low, slave labor wages, and to control the town. He's buying up everything. He wants to turn it into a big, like, money-making town.
I just gotta give it to Reggie, though, because he took the medal this episode for the hottest dumbass of the week.
Oh, did he?
Oh,
Over
he
Archie?
yeah.
And maybe
I'm
they're
sorry.
just trying, they're keeping Reggie on as a series regular next season so we can hate a hot, stupid guy, like, less than we hate Archie. It'll
Okay.
make him seem less dumb.
Because Archie took charge. I have to give it up. Where, like, Reggie's cowering. He doesn't know what to do. Archie's like, look, dude, like, you thought you understood what was happening, but you're a hothead, and your hotheadness is what got us in this problem in the first place.
Right.
So even though Archie's hothead too, like, was not sure if he is, but he does know how to get things done. He is a leader at the end of the day. That's who Archie Andrew is.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about Archie this episode. We see him on the hunt for Reggie. We see him go to stand up against the serpents in the school. He's willing to, make sure that the school doesn't
I
get
love
in
the
trouble.
principal was just like, what the hell are you? It's like, okay, cool. They're finally
With
there.
his own bat and everything. Like, what you guys think you're doing in my school?
That also was kind of weird, though.
He had a bat, but against knives, though. Is that good?
I mean, it's almost like a bat versus a knife. That's actually a good question. Because you can't bring a gun to a knife fight. You shouldn't, at least. But when it's knives versus bat, that's a very good, like,
Do you guys think
connection.
Mr. Weatherby would have won if he used his bat to knock somebody's knife out of the park? Maybe.
Oh, that I mean,
Like
if you know how to wield a bat enough where you're not gonna get the sting of a knife, I feel like the bat's gonna win.
Well, I mean, okay,
Mr.
so
Weatherby?
Jasmine Jones said, the principal showing up was just funny. I agree. I laughed so hard.
too.
But I think Archie was a total badass. This is one of the only times this season I was like, yeah, Archie, God, like, do it. We trust you. You're our superhero. I did feel like that this episode.
No
Alright.
way. I thought Sweet Pea was gonna kick that booty. Sweet Pea is serious.
But see, I'm like, dude, can't you just ever use your fist? Why you always gotta bring out the knife first? I actually legit just want to see you get in a real fisticuff fight real quick, just before you bring the knife out. I want to see what you're working with. That's it.
Well, we do get to see him when Fred saves him from the chocolate shop. They go home, and then another person in the Black Hood gets a jump on him. You get to see Archie tussle it up with that guy, and then Fred comes in and saves the day.
There, I thought that was Hiram, you guys, because I felt like there was a wrestling move that was
No.
done. I saw that the guy was shorter. Yeah, there was like a wrestling move done right in the beginning, and then Archie got on top of him and he kicked him off. And I'm like, this guy is athletic. And then I just remember back to that wrestling episode when Hiram was intimidating Archie. I feel like your little body. I saw all that. So
I need to rewatch that right now.
I would not think but I could see why it could be Hiram orchestrating that. It wouldn't be Hiram himself, but it seems like it comes after Hiram finds out that Fred was there and he kind of quelled everything, and he's outraged. And I feel like that's what he sets up to get the Black Hood to take care of Fred again.
Yeah.
right, and Papa held nothing back. He goes, "Yeah, I mean they're calling them heroes."
Yeah.
Well,
Hiram's like, "Damn."
let's just say that Pops, I mean, I get it. He doesn't like guns, but I'm just going to say I'm not a big gun person, but all of a sudden, if I lived in Riverdale, I'm like, I think it's maybe time to be a gun person.
Especially if
I
you work
hate
at the
to say that.
chocolate shop, because it's always going down there.
Yeah, I mean, or maybe it's a bow and arrow time, okay? It's bow and arrow time.
I mean, Molotov cocktails I thought that was a very ingenious way to deal with, the ghoulies coming to the chocolate shop. Obviously, because you don't have guns, but that'll get you away real quick. Fire will get you.
Oh, you mean
really fast.
so you mean so Kiss Jr. over there can say, hit me. Like, he was so scary
That
and
was
crazy.
more like the Purge trying to come to Riverdale for a
Yeah,
second. I'm just
that's
like,
so
excuse me,
true.
this is not the Purge. You do not have the right to kill nobody. You will go to jail or you will die. I am sorry to tell you this. I'm just showing you information today.
The new sheriff is Cricket, so no, you will not go to jail.
He might be sexy, but it's crooked.
He's
I know.
hella on the...
He might be part of the Black Hood team.
I thought that for the first time tonight as well. I looked in his eyes. They weren't those green eyes we know, obviously, but they looked devilish.
And then contacts could have been worn.
I don't even think men think that much about women. Women that are villains, they're gonna put contacts in. They're gonna
Right.
put wigs on. Men that are villains just go, let's put on a hood.
Right, or let's put on
Glasses.
like these things.
A fake
think-
mustache.
Sorry, do you have anything to fight for yourself?
No, I mean,
No.
we saw our Black
your
Circle.
gender.
They took off all their shirts,
Yeah.
and they made a video of them standing there shirtless. So
You all know how I feel about that video.
It is
I am
very
sorry.
distracting, though, so I will say, I mean, you looked at the chest the whole time, and if they asked you to describe the killer, you're just like, chest?
I mean, it was a color that was not mine.
Well, shout out to
It
our
had
good
abs.
friend Matt and Mar, who you know from last week.
Matt
He's in the
Mar.
chat. He said Cheryl was serving Red Riding Robin Hood
Yes.
realness. It was
Yes, she
everything.
was.
I
It
She
totally agree.
inspired my Ruby Woo lipstick tonight.
Well, we see her not only at the beginning of the episode where she shoots a Black Hood, but she gets called in for backup by Jughead because good old Penny is tied up.
Tony.
Tony Topaz. And so
You knew she was coming for the hell woman. You better come through. Like
Yeah,
I
there you go.
suggest you serpent hold back. Come on, Cheryl, with the
Shoni
come-ons.
prevails.
Shoni always prevails.
And this season seems like, let's talk about Jughead, because this season has been like a struggle in terms of Jughead. Is he as a South Side? Does he have even the Serpents see him? It's like, you're friends with everybody here from Riverdale, so what do you care about us? So at the end, though, I feel like Jughead proves where his loyalty lies.
With the serpents?
I don't really know where it lies. It was reckless.
I mean, he tried to save the entire town. That was his goal.
And that's
so,
everybody. That's the serpents and,
the
North
Bulldogs.
Side.
Do we agree with what do you think of Jughead's decision?
I think I mean, for what it was and what it's meant to be, the outcome of it was very amazing and such a humble thing for somebody to do and put that on himself. However, dude, you're stupid.
Not smart.
It's not smart. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. And that moment when FP is holding him like Ryan held Marissa in the OC.
Why
You
you
guys
have to
know
go
what I'm
there?
talking about.
You guys.
Sorry, I can't help it. It's my blood.
I was in tears. Like I kept looking at her. I'm just like, what are you talking about? No.
She goes, my man can't be dead. can
Right,
he?"
he can't. Like, you can't just kill it. Like, who's narration? Like, I know everybody's in the chat is asking. I have questions about that myself. Who will be narrating between the three of you? Gonna kill off my man?
No,
They
there is.
cut out his tattoo though.
Okay, whatever. Penny
He got
is-
another arm.
Well, the thing is, I mean, you could easily hit an artery, especially when you're being beaten to death and have other traumas in your body. And his skull mouth, his
Skull mouth?
yeah,
All
guys,
right.
I don't know what other way to say it. His skull mouth was hanging out.
His skull mouth was not hanging out.
Yes, it was. You saw his teeth and a little bit of his bone.
No.
We rewound it.
We rewound it several times, and Sam's imagination got
I
worse
really
and
didn't
worse
see
Yeah.
as
that
we
because
went
I saw it
on.
again, and I'm sorry, I saw a lot of blood on his face.
And his
like,
eyeball
beaten
was
in.
hanging out.
Oh my gosh! You
Whatever,
see
you
how
guys.
gullible I am? Like I watched it.
Well, okay. And I just want to make sure we have everything to say about Jughead, and then I want to get into some other things about Cole Sprouse.
Okay, last thing about Jughead, or for me, I love the way he called, Betty with that last kind of like declaration of love and saying like, "I will see you soon."
Like what? On the other side of Sweetwater River?
right, like what? at
And
the
Sabrina the
pearly
Teenage
gates?
Witch
Yeah.
resurrects him? Like, what's happening?
We'll find out next
the
week
other side.
on the
Yeah.
season finale. But in the meantime, Sam has got something she's been just dying to talk about. And that is a little
News
event
and gossip.
that...
AfterBuzz TV News.
So, guys, if you didn't know, if you're not on Instagram and, I mean, just looking at hashtags like your life like I am, you may or may not have seen the Met Gala. And the surprise couple and hottest dressed, many say, of this year was Cole and Lily. And this is their real first debut as a couple. There's a lot of pictures. They're holding hands. They're touching each other. It's very, very obvious that they are officially coming out as a couple. Why were they invited as opposed to all of the other Riverdale cast? Well, it's because Cole is a photographer. He has done a lot of different things for Vogue, as a model, as a photographer. And so his plus one was Lily, and she totally brought it. And it was last year someone said, "Are you going to the Met Gala?" on Twitter. And she said, "In my dreams," and then she retweeted that this year.
Aww.
Going to the Met Gala. I love them. My only issue, big issue, I've showed this to almost everyone I've seen at the studio and zoomed in on the bottom of Cole's pants. I don't get it. I don't like the bottom of his pants. They're, not there, Anthony. A little lower. Oh, yeah, see? And it almost looks like he's wearing socks. Like, are those Crocs? Like, what is happening?
He was showing a little leg.
Let it be known that Sam is the only one that has an issue with that. I personally don't mind it. I like the fashion choice because it is just a choice.
Looks whack.
Thank you.
Yes, he's
I'm not the
owning
only
it.
one.
I'm gonna say no to the leg showing, but yes to Lily and her. She was very on theme with heavenly bodies and Catholic imagination.
Yeah, and if you guys look at some photos of her kind of like turning from behind, like her train just like flies up.
marvelous.
And it's really beautiful and a very, very cool thing, especially since a year ago she said she could only dream of being there. And now she is. So,
Dreams do come true.
sorry, just had to give a big shout out to that.
Sprout's heart for the win.
Yeah. Thanks,
Is that you
guys.
think that's why she's dating him? Just because she was like, all right, that could get me into the
Yeah, and everyone in here says, "Why no socks? He's sockless." Agreed. Another thing that I don't like.
We all know that only results in sweaty, stinky feet. Come on, Cole.
He
But
can go home and clean. She'll be with them. It'll be all good.
No,
But,
and she
like,
changed her dress for the after party. He's still wearing the pants with the no socks.
There you go.
What are you gonna do?
If it's not broke, why fix it?
that's right.
All right, so
Lily wore heels, so she can go sockless. Let
There
me
you
just state that. Okay,
Thank you.
sorry.
before we wrap up, let's do some predictions real quick about the season finale.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Who would like to start us off? Shawna?
Okay. All right. I think that Sheriff Keller is back on the job. I saw him taken in house, so that means he must have just by default got his job back. And I think that that's going to be a very different story now for Miss Lawyer, who is about to be, his girl.
Oh,
what's her name?
Miss Josie's
McCoy.
mother,
Yeah,
Mayor McCoy.
Mayor McCoy,
Ex-Mayor
who is
McCoy.
Lawyer McCoy, is going to jump back up and tell Hermione and the lodges, "I'm back, bitches." Ooh, excuse my language. And then I also think that Betty is about to go get revenge like heck if Jughead is not okay, which we think he is. I think that's all I'm gonna do for now. Love the ships, love Choni. I'm looking for Chuck to come back, so maybe season 3 will be his re-entry into the situation now that things have gotten.
We
real
just
crazy.
love Jordan.
I think we just love Jordan, but Chuck, I mean, could come back
Chuck is
too.
growing on me. Yeah.
So yeah, that's about all I have.
I want to read somebody's prediction because I actually want to know if it happens. So Derek Hogan in the chat says, I still predict that Hiram will cause all the money in Riverdale to vanish and make the town go bankrupt as a fail-safe in case something happens to him. He did go to jail for embezzlement after all.
Ooh,
that is an amazing prediction.
Derek. Okay.
One of my own is if Jughead happens to be dead, like, if he's not, I am a happy person. But if he happens to be, I want Betty to go for retribution. I want her to be, I'm my daddy's daughter. And I'm about to take Penny out.
Oh, yeah. Shay's about to come in there and just kill Penny.
I am sorry. Like, or go after Hiram. Go after who you need to get your closure in this situation. But Betty's about to go to her darkness place. And I am all for it. And I am so happy for Cheryl to be joining the Serpents in her red jacket. If it happens to be a Hot Topic, I will be buying it.
Okay. Cool.
That's my prediction.
Probably me too. Okay, so I think that Betty is going to finally realize how to tame her darkness with her Bettiness, which is like facing her dad and saying, no, I'm not like you. I'm going to use my darkness to save people and be more of a vigilante. What we thought Archie was going to be, but I mean, let's be real. Betty is way stronger and more tough and tougher than Archie is. I think Veronica, man, I don't know. I think this whole casino thing might come back and that she's going to go down some road of helping like bring all of this stuff to Riverdale, because I just don't think anything really is brought into the show for no reason. And I think that Alice and FP, of course, are hoping to come back together. And yeah, Jughead's not dead. He can't be dead. I don't know what that scene was from next week that Chae made me rewatch, and I was like, no. I said, it's a dream. I literally was like, it's a dream.
She's holding the
and
crown.
I walked away. I was like, it's a dream sequence. Goodbye.
Nobody,
Frank.
no death.
Yeah, I guess just as what I said earlier, we'll find out that the Red Hood at the beginning of the season that shot Fred was working for Hiram, and it's also the same guy that was also trying to get them at Archie's house, Archie and Fred's house this episode as well. And then, Jughead's dead, and we're all just going to have to move on.
Oh,
He's not dead. Come on now.
We will
better
avenge
put
him
yeah.
with our lives as fans. We will knock on the door. At
Oh,
Riverdale.
the writers are going to get very angry letters if Jughead is not alive.
Well, maybe he shouldn't have worn those pants to the Met Gala.
Wow, she's still on
was
that.
Burn. Sorry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this episode of the Riverdale After Show. But as always, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, everybody, thanks for hopping in the chat. I know Sam and Chae loved reading all your comments throughout the course of the episode. But if you want to stay in touch with us even after the show's over, Shawna, where can they find you?
You can always find me on Instagram and Twitter at Shawna O.
Hey, so my
I was
bad.
just gonna say, have fun tonight.
I love her though. Hey guys, you can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram. And Tuesday, 9 p.m. Rise season finale. I don't know how I feel. It's gonna be crazy. And I'll be back next week as well for Riverdale finale, and I'm super excited.
I'm Sam Davidson. You can find me at SamD43 on Twitter and Instagram. I've missed you guys so much, and it excites me greatly to talk about this show. So please continue to do so, and we'll see you next week for the finale.
There you go. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. Folks, that's it. 1 week until the season finale at Riverdale. We'll see you back here next week at the same time, right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.